Hello everyone, here we go. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for. We're done with that trash stuff. We're on to the bosses, on to anything anyone ever really cared about. Boss guides. So here we go. This is the start of it. We'll be going through every single boss in Black Temple. And to go through every single boss, gotta start at the beginning. And here's the beginning. Boss number 1, High Warlord Naj'entus. That is this guy. Let's get into it. So, this is Naj'entus. Naj'entus has not that many abilities. He just has an Impaling Spine, Tidal Shield, Needle Spine, Spread Mechanic, and a Swipe. Not much really to worry about here. Now, also one thing to note, all of these bosses, I'm going to kind of go through this ability phase pretty quickly, because it's mainly just here if people ever want to look back and read up on all of the abilities. The Google presentation that I'm using to make all of these guides will be available, and I'll also post that in the Discord. So don't try to worry too much about reading all of the abilities. I will go over them later and talk about all the ones that we really need to worry about. So Naj'entus, he just has a spine, tidal shield, spread mechanic, and swipe. Don't stand in front of him. How we will be tanking him. This is the boss room. The boss starts right over here in this big skull. What we're going to do is we're going to tank him right here on skull. Tanks will point him away from the raid. All of the melee will split into two or three groups just on different sides of the boss, kind of like what we did for Hydros, just to avoid as much cleave damage as possible. Then the healers will be spread out everywhere, and the range will be spread out past that, just so that healers have room to make sure they're always in range of a tank and in range of everyone else. There's another strategy that I think is worth mentioning here, where they have everyone kind of spread out everywhere around the boss. I don't think it's very necessary, and I think it makes it harder for healers to reach everybody to do that, when this can work very well for us if you spread correctly. If we are having issues with it, then we will go to the spread and use this area around the boss. Make sure only range are coming back here, because he does have that frontal cleave that we don't want any melee to get knocked with. Other than that, there's really only one real mechanic we need to worry about aside from spreading, and what he will do is he will throw a spine onto one random character. This is what the spine looks like. It's very, very noticeable. The player will be pinned to the ground, and the way to deal with it is one person just needs to go up and loop the spine. Then that spine will be put into your inventory, much like the elemental essence core, whatever it's called, from Lady Vash. So we will be using a macro to make sure we always use the spine and don't have people digging through the bags trying to find it. It's very simple, just /use Naj'entus spine. The only thing we need to worry about is when we do break the shield, which is this shield right here, it will do AoE damage to the entire raid, and it will do around 8.5 thousand damage. So every single person in the raid needs to make sure that they have enough health to survive this. So mages and sprees, consider bringing stamina trinkets or stamina gear. Don't be using Belt of Blastings on this boss. DPS is not a requirement. He has an enraged timer, but we're going to be nowhere near it. I don't think DPS or enraged mechanics are really going to be a thing for all of Black Temple, to be honest. So you're going to hear me say that a lot, in that safe play is more important than everything else. I think this is a raid where particularly healers will carry, and if the healers can't keep up, then we're going to have a bad time. That's really all it's going to come down to. So the way to deal with this mechanic, he will throw out the spine. Someone needs to loot it, but make sure you're all spread out, so just whoever's close, spam right click the spine, you will loot it. Whenever you have it looted, then he will put a bubble on himself, which during the bubble he will be healing himself and he won't be attacking the raid. Use that time for all of the healers to top everyone off, and then once everyone is topped off, we will call for it. We will use the spine, it will break the shield, it'll do a ton of damage, and then healers just top everyone back off, and we just rinse and repeat until he's dead. Little things to remember, the spine has a travel time, so if you do have the spine and you can safely move closer to the boss, do it before using the spine, just to, cut off on some of the distance time and some of the healing he will get from it. It's really not that big of a deal though. An extra second or two with the shield up is not going to wipe the raid. So if you can do it safely, do it. If not, don't. Other thing to keep note is that when he has the shield on him, he does healing. So obviously we want to keep up wound poison, mortal strike, range shot on the boss at all times. And that's it. That's Naj'entus. Also, a few things to note before I wrap up this video. This is coming out before Phase 3 has actually been released. That means that this is subject to be changed with anything as soon as Raid actually comes out. Everything can change, when Raid actually comes out, maybe instead of doing 8.5k damage, this does 10k damage to the whole raid. All of this is subject to change, so take everything I'm saying, take the numbers with a grain of salt. However, the strategy shouldn't change too much on the first couple of weeks when we fight the boss. On top of that, I also have certain things color-coded throughout these videos, and you will see them. The general strategy that I had for that is, if it is green, it is something the healer should be paying attention to. If it is yellow, that is something that is either a core mechanic of the fight or something that DPS really needs to focus on. If it is red, it will be something that tanks need to focus on. If you see it in this, like, the main text of the body, obviously the stuff up top, I also use red for emphasis, so it's not exact science, but it is what I do, trying to just make it pop a little bit more. And as well as blue is things that ranged will focus on, so you'll see those more going forward. And that's Naj'entus. I will see all of you guys in the next video.